Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, Doom Productions. We make feature films and videos about films and filmmaking. And today, I wanted to talk about using a slate in your movies. Now, if you didn't know what a slate was typically a black board with a little clapper on top that is put in front of the camera in the shot of your movie and is clapped together before the director calls action. Now, this was done primarily and really only to sync sound together because video and audio were recorded separately. They didn't have movie files back then, obviously, so they had to record the movie onto film and they had to record the sound onto an analog recorder and tape and all that back in the day. Today, we have movie files. So a lot of filmmakers, when they start out, don't even use audio recorders and will just record straight into the camera. Maybe they will dub the sound in post, or maybe they'll use digital audio recorders separately and then they'll sync the sound together in post and all that. But it's kind of a tricky thing, and there's no right or wrong way of using a slate when it comes to, you yourself as a truly independent, no-budget filmmaker. If you're in Hollywood, yeah, you're going to use a slate because it helps with organization. Slates are really good when it comes to the post-production sides of things and just organization in general, media management and all that. What slates are really good for is on set, if a director really liked to take, they can take note of that. Or the script supervisor can take note of what happens in each shot, in each take, because they have a reference title for that shot and take and all that stuff. They can relay that to the actors, the director, whoever. The director can relay what takes they liked, what shots they liked to their editors, and everybody has kind of a universal language when it comes to what happens in any given shot that was recorded that day. What's really good for the shot as well, or for the take as well, is it really helps the assistant editors or the editors and whoever's compiling the footage, because obviously when you plug in your SD card or your footage into your computer, the files are not just magically named whatever it is. The files are named whatever the generic, naming is for your camera, whatever that may be. So someone has to go in and label all that footage. And if you're removed from the process of filmmaking, if you're not a director or an editor or anyone, if you have to label that footage and you weren't there on set, it's really helpful to know to open the video file and see immediately that what scene it was, what shot it was, and what take it was. So that way you can quickly rename your file, get everything organized, and separate it into bins and projects and timelines and all that sort of thing. That's really helpful when it comes to using a slate, kind of in a more professional setting. For myself, and I know for us at Doom Productions, using a slate is something we don't use super duper often. One of those reasons is because it's just a time thing. Using a slate takes time, and that's time that, when you are working on a no-budget set, that's something that's really valuable, is to have that time to make your movie, not worry about organizing so much. Now, that hasn't typically mattered so much because the people who are there on set are also the people editing. The director on all of our movies is typically the person who's editing the movies as well. So it might be a little bit confusing, might take a little bit more time on the media management side of things when it comes to organizing all your footage, your putting everything into your library, your timeline, all that sort of thing. That might take a little more time, but it saves time in the filming side, which can be a huge thing. And also, there's a lot of times when we use sync footage, when we record audio and video into the same file at once. There's also times when we just dub things in general, and so we don't worry so much about syncing things up, so there hasn't been a need for a clapper or a slate, or sticks as they're called sometimes in general, so we just haven't used it a whole lot. But there are times when we have used a slate and a stick, or sticks, or whatever you'd like to call it. And what I use for that, and the reason why I do, well, first off, here's what I use. It's just a whiteboard. Now, a whiteboard, you could use more professional looking slate if you'd like to, but this is cheap enough. You can buy it at any dollar store, Target, Fred Meyer, wherever you want. You can get this wherever you want. So the first benefit is that it's really cheap. The second thing is you don't need an expensive piece of equipment to clap together. You got two hands, don't you? So you can just clap your hands together or snap your fingers or your voice. What's so wonderful these days is that you do not manually have to synchronize sound and video together these days. Most editing softwares, Adobe, Final Cut Pro, Avid, whatever you use, all that, they all have automatic synchronizing. So you select two clips together, hit synchronize, hit, pair, whatever you want, and that's going to do the job for you. So as long as you have some sound going on, if you're recording separately audio and video, it's going to do the job just fine. But every now and then, it's really good to use for media management sides, and that's primarily in addition to audio reasoning. That's why I use this thing. So let me get it set up how I usually do, so I can show you what it looks like or how I set it up. So first up, you have it by going from left to right. At top, you have scene, then you have shot, then you have take. Now, what I have right here shows scene 20, shot B, take 2. It's pretty self-explanatory. You label this according to whatever scene you're on, you label this according to whatever shot you're on, and you label this according to whatever take you're on. Now, this is something that really helps out with media management for me personally, because I've just started filming a really big project called La Danza. There are 383 scenes in it. There are close to 1,000 shots in the entire movie, and it's all non-linear for the most part. It gets pretty wild how everything is put together, and it's something where it would be very easy to confuse shots from one scene with shots from another. So this is a project which we've only been shooting for about a day, but it's something that I knew using a slate would be really important and really helpful for, because again, on the media management side of things, it's just helpful to be able to click on a clip, click on a video, have this be the first thing that pops up, so I immediately know what shot I'm labeling, and then I can label it, rather than open a video, search through, skim through the timeline, try to remember what we did for that day and the order and all that kind of thing. Rather than doing all that kind of mental gymnastics, it's just easier just to click the video, see this, and know, oh, okay, scene 20, shot B, take 2. And it's really cheap, and it's really easy, and anybody can use this. It's something that, again, takes a lot of time when you're on set. So whenever we've used slates before, it's something that, if we're running short on time, and again, remember, time is money on a no-budget film set. If you're running short on time, it's always been the first thing to ditch as soon as that happens. Because, while it might be annoying to synchronize everything in post or label and edit everything in post and editing, that might be annoying. It's more valuable to, rather than sit down, write this all out, because this could really eat into the time depending on, if you start shooting and you start thinking, oh no, where's the slate? I don't have the slate. We need to find it. We need to record it. Get the right take number. You might mislabel something. That is very well to eat up a lot of your time. Could be 5 minutes, could be 20 minutes, however long collectively it takes to do all that stuff. That can be in the pain in the butt. It's more important to just get your footage, because likely if you're on a no budget, truly independent production, you're the director and you're probably also editing it yourself. So your memory should be good enough to be able to deal with things in post. And if not, and if you have a really hard time, just don't delete anything. Just make sure you don't delete anything accidentally. And that's all I'd say to that. But yes, using a slate is something that is, we don't do it very much, but there are cases when it's really useful. It seems like a relic of kind of the Hollywood industry thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because on those movies that they're using crews of up to 1,000 people. They're using lots of people on set, lots of people in post. They need to be able to have a uniform numbering and labeling system for the shots and takes and all that. So having this on that makes total absolute sense. It also makes total absolute sense if you are a total neat freak and you need everything labeled, you need everything organized, you get really lost and cluttered in your own head sometimes with all of your ideas. This is also a really good thing for someone like that. Me, myself, personally, I don't use it for every movie, again, but it's something that I've found is really helpful when it comes to labeling things and managing stuff. Because I know with this new film that I'm getting into right now, it's lots and lots of footage that I'm gonna have to make. So I know that taking the little bit of time now, if I can, before I start shooting, to make sure to label a shot, put the slate in the shot, and put that in there so it helps me on the back end of things. I know that will save me a lot of time in the back end of things, and if I can, I'll do it. But again, if I'm running out of time and I need to save some time on set, the slate's the first thing to go. But anyways, that's just my opinions on using a slate in a movie. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about using a slate. Do you use a slate? Why do you use it? Do you not use it? Why not? There's a lot of different answers. There's no right answer for anyone because every filmmaker is different, every production is different, and I just really love to know what everybody thinks about using a slate in their movies. So if you like this video, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.